So this lesson was one of the hardest things I have had to accept on my spiritual journey, on my spiritual path, but it changed my life in ways that I have never imagined. I really want to break down and share with you this lesson because if you can understand it now, it's going to benefit your life in so many ways. It's going to be so supportive of you in the long run, and you don't have to go through that lesson that I did, right, to step into this. Have you ever heard of the phrase, things are happening to me rather than for me? And this is not what the actual lesson is, but it's a good kind of baseline for it, right? Because you might have heard of it, happening to me versus for me. So happening to me is like you are the victim of your reality. Stuff is just happening to you, right? Like let's say you woke up, you had a car accident. Oh, a car accident happened to me this morning. Or I'm so annoyed. I had a car accident. It happened to me. I didn't have any control. It's not beneficial for me. It's just stuff's happening to me. Oh, and I stepped in a puddle this morning and now my trousers are wet. It's happening to me, right? Like the belief system, the mindset is stuff is happening to us and we're not in control of it, right? Not even we're not in control with it. It's like we're victim to it, right? Compared to for me. So stuff is happening for me, which is a completely different mindset, a different way to live life. What we see is everything happening for our highest good. Now, while it's so simple, it's actually revolutionary because we begin to see everything from a different mindset, from a different frame, rather than, oh, well, all of these shitty things are happening to me. This is actually happening for my highest good. I went through this because I had to learn this lesson, which is deeply serving me, or I went through this so I wouldn't be there for that, which is serving me in this way, right? So it might be that the car accident meant that actually I had a car accident. The first car accident I had it last year. No, started this year. It was very mild. It was but it was enough to get the car written off. And it was so funny because literally I had bought the car secondhand and I didn't really like it, but I was just in a phase of my life where I was like, yep, I need a car. We had just moved. I need a big car. I was like, that'll do. Don't have time. I'm not a big car person, right? I was like, I just need something that works. And then I remember driving it after I bought it and I was like, I don't really like this car. And so I started thinking in my head about buying a new car. And, but I was like, okay, I'm going to lose a lot of money. It was like, I was thinking about it that way, which probably wasn't the best money abundance mindset. But anyway, that's kind of where my head was at the time. And I was on the motorway and this was like, I only had the car for about a month, right? And somebody rear-ended me quite hard in the motorway, and literally the back of my car was like this. Now I was okay. I got thrown a little bit. I was a little bit like, what's going on? My Apple Watch, which if you have one, you'll know, it started beeping at me like crazy, like, you've been in a car crash. You've been in a car crash. We're going to call the ambulance in 10, 9. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Don't call. I'm fine. So that was, I think, the most alarming thing because it's like screaming at me that it's going to call the ambulance. And I was like, I'm good. Don't call them. So I was like, cool. Yeah, Apple Watch does that, which is very cool because if it was more severe, it would have been amazing. Very helpful. But my car was concave, and I remember just thinking afterwards, because then, I went home and it was like, yeah, the car is written off. You're getting a new car. And I was like, wow, I really manifested, didn't I? This is happening for me because now I get to buy a new car, and I did, and I spent time and I picked the one I like, and I love my car now and I'm very happy with it. But I could have gone, oh no, this car didn't happen to me and now I have to waste my time and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I actually saw it as like, wow, this is happening for me. But I literally see this with every challenging situation in my life. I'm always looking at it like, this is for my highest good. I'm so divinely loved, so divinely protected. Everything's always working out for my highest good. No matter how bad it is, it's happening for my highest good. And I know that's not easy, right? That's a very challenging belief to have. And trust me, like, you guys know, I've been through some pretty severe sexual trauma. I had to look back at all of those situations, go, how is that happening for me? How did that happen for my highest good? And I genuinely believe it did today. Didn't when I was in the thick of it, right? I didn't believe it when I was healing it. But now that I've come out the other side, I'm like, wow, thank God I went through that, because the work that I'm now doing with women, and who I have become in the journey of healing it, what I have deepened into now, I'm so grateful for, right? But that happening to me rather than for me is the baseline of it. There is, what I tend to notice is people who are new channelers, right? They've started channeling, they've started working with spirit maybe for like a year, sometimes two. I'm guilty of this too, right? So I'm not telling you off if this is you, because I've been there too, right? It's we almost tend to lose our power or give away our power in a sense when something happens to us that is bad. That is bad, right? Objectively bad. It's objectively not good. We go, why is this happening to me? Why are you doing this to me? Right? Like what? And we almost look at the divine spirit and go, why are you doing this to me? Like, why is this happening for me? Or where I see it with spiritual business owners, right? For example, they might channel on, oh, I've got to launch and create this program now, right? And then there's like, it's a fully channeled soul aligned program. They put it out into the world. Nobody signs up. And then they go, why are you not sending clients to me? I did it. I put it out there. I did what you said. Why am I not getting clients? Right? That's another example that we do. And we begin to, in this way, begin to give away our power and be like, you, spirit, the divine, God, whatever universe is doing this to me, right? I am not creating it. I am not in co-creation of it. You are doing something to me. And I want to know why you're doing it to me. What am I doing wrong? Why are you punishing me? And it might be so subtle where you might be like trapped in, like, let's say, there was a period of time where I was getting a lot of migraines. And this is where it came up for me, where I was starting to get a little bit annoyed and going like, why am I getting all of these migraines? Like, what is this? Like, what is the point of this? Why are you doing this to me? And almost getting a bit agitated, which pain can absolutely do. But does that mindset serve us? Does that actually help us? No, it doesn't. Like, what actually works and what actually helps is to look at how we are co-creating this reality. We are the ones who are having lived experience right here, right now. Spirit doesn't want to do stuff for you. They want to empower you to do it yourself. So one of the key examples where like people are like, oh, well, I did the channel program and Spirit isn't sending clients to me. Spirit can't sell for you. Like, that's your job. They are going to put the soul aligned clients into your field. They've done their job. That's their job. Here, put this in. We're going to connect to the higher self of the clients and they're in your field. But you're not selling to the soul, right? When the soul already knows, oh, I'm really drawn to this person. I really want to work with them. But it's a human part of them, the human brain, the ego that goes, I don't know if now's the right time for me to invest. I don't know if I have so much capacity. It's a lot of money. Oh, you know what? I don't trust myself to show up. That's the part that Spirit can't talk to, that you need to do the work and say, hey, I've got you. I'm going to support you. This is where you need to learn how to properly sell, how to properly market, right? Because if you're not doing that, you're going to have a hard time, and then you can't get angry at Spirit because you didn't do your job. You're talking to the human and you have to go, okay, hey, I'm not signing up clients. What action am I not doing, right? What do I need to work on, right? What is not sitting and aligning here? The number one way we lose our power, it's like when we take an approach from we're being punished, right? Or like, this bad thing Spirit is doing to me, they're not saving me from this bad experience that I'm having, right? And we forget our power. You're here to be a powerful being. And even for us channelers, it's really important that we remember that we are in power and we are co-creating. And there absolutely was a time in my life where I was probably giving away too much power to Spirit, which is very different, because even though I'm like, yes, Spirit-led life, and channeling every day, yes, and we still get to remember our power. And if we don't, Spirit is going to be like, don't give us all your power. Like, you're here to be Spirit embodied and be a powerful being, like connect to your own power. Don't outsource it. That's literally what they told me. They're like, Athena, you're outsourcing your power, right? Because I literally was just bypassing my feelings, my emotions, just going straight to Spirit. I was bypassing the human experience, which Spirit doesn't want. They want us to have the human experience. They're there to support us, they're there to guide us, but we still have to have the human experience. So it was really interesting because there was a year where that was a massive lesson for me, right? I was fully outsourcing my power. And because I was having there was stuff for me around trusting myself and certainty and all, there was emotional repression, there was all of this other stuff. So I was having a hard time trusting myself and finding my own power. So I was outsourcing it to spirit, and spirit kept being like connect back to yourself, tune into to yourself. And that was the year where they were like, she's got to learn how to deal with this. And I remember I would ask, because you guys know, before I invest in anything, any courses, anything, any coaches, I ask, is it for my highest good to invest in this? And it was, I'd always ask that. And I remember that year, I first invested in a business program, which wasn't that great, but I was like, okay, maybe I didn't show up enough. Maybe I didn't get that much, maybe that's on me. Take responsibility. I was like, okay, whatever. Then the second one I invested was in a coach that, again, I got a little bit out of, but it wasn't very good. And I was kind of like, that's weird. Normally, when spirit says, yes, it's for my highest good, I get a lot out of it. But I'm in trust. And I'm like, okay, I'm trusting, right? And then the third thing that I invested in, it ended up, and I asked, is this for my highest good? It ended up being a scam, right? I got a yes, this is for your highest good to invest in. It ended up being a scam. Now, I did end up getting my money back. That wasn't an issue, right? It wasn't a problem, but there was a lot of stress during it. And when the situation finished, I remember going, Spirit, what the hell? You told me this was for my highest good. And not only this, but these two other investments, what is going on? And they'd be like, yes, it is for your highest good. And I'm like, but why? And they're like, Athena, why did you invest in this? And I was like, because you told me to. And they're like, but how did it feel for you when you were looking at the course? What did you feel? And I was like, well, it actually didn't feel that aligned or that good. And they're like, then why did you do it? I said, oh, well, I don't know. And they're like, you outsource your power. And then they began telling me about this big lesson. And I was like, oh my God. And it literally spurred the biggest healing crisis for me, where I spent the next month in just this deep healing going, oh my God, this is a pattern. I'm so disconnected from my emotions and to my, I'm not tuning into my stuff. I'm not feeling my power. I don't actually know what's my full yes or my full, all of this stuff came up for me, and I went into a huge healing crisis and had a huge death rebirth, and then went on 3 months later to have a massive cash financial flow increase, massive changes in my life. And it was amazing. And after I went through that, I look back and go, I'm so grateful that I went into that scam and I got my money back. So it was fine, because I know I'm looked after anyway. I wasn't actually, it was just an annoying situation. But I look back and I'm like, I'm so grateful, because honestly, even if I had lost all of the money, it would have been so worth it, because the healing that triggered and I went through to get to where I needed, I made 10 times the amount, 100 times the amount of what I spent on that, right? So from that perspective, from where I'm now looking back, I'm like, yeah, that investment was for my highest good, but it wasn't from my highest good from the perspective that I thought it was, right? I thought, oh, it's for my highest good because it's going to help me scale and grow my business. And Spirit was like, no, it's from your highest good because you're going to learn how to find your own power, how to trust yourself, how to find certainty in yourself, and it's going to spur a massive healing crisis that is going to massively change your life in incredible ways. So we don't always know what highest good is. And you can't go wrong when you're asking for the highest good, right? But that was a huge lesson for me, because I was struggling, because I'm like, Spirit, what? You told me this was for my highest good. And they were like, yeah, it is. I was like, how? They just took my money and they're not delivering me the service. What is going on? It's for your highest good. But the lesson there was for my power, and me finding my power and really stepping in and going, wow, this is where I'm actually outsourcing my power to Spirit. This is where I'm bypassing my human self, was such an important lesson, because I wouldn't console myself. I just go straight to Spirit. I wouldn't listen to my emotional guidance system, just go straight to Spirit. And it might even seem minor, but it was so important. And now that I understand it and I see it and I feel my power and I'm connected to it, and whenever I'm making a decision, I first tune into myself and I feel, Is this aligned? Does this feel good? Does this feel resonant? And then it's yes, always spirit. So it's becoming a co-creation, me and spirit, not just straight spirit. That's where I was giving away my power, right? And even now when I'm going through these tough situations, I'm not like, spirit, why did this happen to me? Why are you doing this to me, right? Which I didn't really ever do that much, but I'm more about what part of me is creating this right now. Spirit, can you give me clarity about what part of me this is creating right now? Rather than, why can't you protect me from this? Why does this have to happen to me? Very different energies. And it might seem minor, but in that energy of I'm giving away my power, we can actually co-create or manifest that well, because we're ignoring the part of us that is co-creating this, which is the part that you actually need to change, that you actually need to heal. And in going through this lesson and coming back into the fullness of my power as well, I began to be able to see where I see other people do it, which was really, really helpful, because when I then heard people or students saying things like, I did this, I did what Spirit said and I didn't get the result, or it didn't work out exactly how I wanted. And, what's another one that I've heard? I don't understand why this has had to happen in this way for me. And almost like a blaming, right? Why won't they bring this to me? Why won't Spirit do this for me? It's not their job, right? It is not their job. They're not your genies. Absolutely, they have brought stuff to me. Absolutely, they have aligned things to me, but it is not their job. You are your own genie. That's literally your job. You're the human, you're the creator, and they want you empowered. As soon as you start giving your power away, they're going, this is not what we want. We want an equal partnership. We want a co-creation. If she's giving away her power to us, she's not in her power, which means this is a disservice. We got to get her back into her power, and that becomes the priority. We want you in your power, right? Understanding this power allowed me to experience such significant shifts in my life, and ironically, I actually began to manifest all the things, like grow my business, grow my income, because I found my own power and strength, and I wasn't neglecting the human experience. I was actually involving the human experience more, which is very, very powerful too. So this was a massive lesson for me, and I invite you that in your channeling work, you remember that you are powerful and you are co-creating, and it's not a reliance of power for spirit, but rather know that you are the one who is creating this, and everything externally is reflected within you, and spirit can offer you clarity and guidance. But when stuff falls through or it doesn't go the way, one, it's for your highest good, and two, you need to have a look at the part of you, not spirit, part of you that has created this, right? Massive lesson for me. I hope this resonates. Any questions, post them down below. Any shares, post them down below. Sending you so much love and blessings.